Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back here with Marina, Theron, Monnery, talking about the work she does here as a transformational coach and transformational therapy practitioner. Technically, that's the correct way to say it. She's so much more than that. She's a hypnotherapist. She's a mom. She's a wife. She's a coach. She's has an amazing outlook on life. She has her own share of struggles, I think, like most of us have. And she has gone through a lot, changed her life for the better, and is just blessed and thankful to have the abundance that she does and the love that she has in her life. And she's here helping people do that. And let me have her say hello first and introduce herself. And then we're going to talk about some tips on, maybe what we could do on a daily basis to get this joy and livelihood back. Go ahead, hun.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you for having me again. And yes, I am Marina Theron Monnery. I live in Calgary, Canada. I am a rapid transformational therapy practitioner. That's a mouthful, as well as a coach. I am also a singer. I love to sing. I've been singing all my life. And I'm also, on that long list, very important, I am a grandma of a 2-year-old boy, and he's the light of my life. And yes, I come from a long list of things that went wrong in my life to the point where I did not know how I was going to keep living. So here I am today to tell the story of how I completely turned a 180 degree and at completely opposite side of the spectrum where I love my life.
Well, thank you for being here and for sharing that and helping others get this far. Let's talk about how we can contact you.
My website is marinatheronmonnery.com. So just my name, MarinaTheronMonnery.
Beautiful. All right. So let's share some tips and insights. What did you have for us?
That's right. So, Joe, I've shared in the last few weeks a lot of the things that went wrong in my life. And in fact, in 2019, I wrote a long book and I never published it because that's not my real story. All the things that went wrong is not me. Everything from there on that went right, that's really me. And I'm passionate about that. And I'm passionate about the how. I get a lot of questions about how did you do that, Marina? So I'm going to talk about everything I did. Rapid transformational therapy was a very big part of it because you can do all these things that I will give you tips on today. But if there's something that you're really stuck behind, something that may have happened in childhood, I have so many interesting cases with clients that I can tell you about. Just the thought that you are stuck behind. That's where the therapy really helps you to understand where did that come from? Like a seed that was sown in your mind, and then it sprouted and it grew and it became such a big thing and a stumbling block in your life. So that's where rapid transformational therapy is very valuable. But outside of that, can you take a journal? This is my journal. I have a whole bookshelf right next to me here filled with it. Because the first thing I needed to decide was, who do I no longer want to be? How do I no longer want to act, talk, walk, think about myself, and write that all down? So how do you no longer want to be? How do you not want to think about ourselves? Our thoughts about ourselves are one of the most important things we need to change. And then on the flip side of that, how do you want to be? What new label do you want to have attached to you? In my own journey, I wanted to be authentic. I wanted to have the freedom to be myself. Definitely get rid of self-judgment. And the list can go really on and on. Then the third thing is, this is one thing that really changed me. Every single morning when I wake up, I take my journal and I write 5 things in that I'm grateful for. And you may say to me, but Marina, everything is going wrong in my life. No, not everything. Do you have a heart that beats? Oh, yeah. Be grateful for your heart that beats. Is the sun shining? Yes, it is. Be grateful for that. Do you have some health in your life? Yeah. Write that all down. Don't write the same thing down every day and repeat.
I was just going to ask, do you repeat a lot or no? You look for new things.
No. Okay. Look for new things every day because what we focus on will expand. So find those things to be grateful for and see how your entire attitude starts to change. Then another one that I love that really made a big change in my life, be very aware what you do for entertainment. If you watch the news all the time, trust me, it's not always positive. It creates a lot of times helplessness, hopelessness, and fear in us. Now, to be aware of it is one thing, but to keep watching it over and over and over again, and you can test this. Just don't watch today, and nothing is going to fall apart. The wheels will not come off if you watch it again tomorrow, but chances are you will have a little bit more of a positive outlook in your life. Then instead of watching that, why don't you find yourself a comedy that will make you laugh out loud to watch? Or go out somewhere or have positive conversations. So just shift that needle a little bit from the things that can create fear, hopelessness, and can spotlight your own hopelessness in your life. And then beside the gratitudes, I discovered a program years ago called Mind Movies, and it's by a lady called Natalie Lidwell. If you can subscribe to that, that's been something that's been very valuable in my life. Mind Movies let you take positive affirmations about yourself, and you write all these positive affirmations that you want to create in your life. For example, I want to be abundant. I want to find love. I want to be healthy. And you'd use only positive words. And at the time when I did mine, I was going through cancer. So I never said I want to be cancer free. I said I wanted to have ultimate health. And that was quite important, to keep the words very positive. Then you choose your own music, and they have an entire library of music that that you can put to it that has meaning to you. And then you took pictures. You use pictures that has meaning to you. So I created a few. My very first one, I actually used a song that my husband wrote and that I sang. And that has a tremendous meaning to me. And I only use pictures that I took myself. And now looking back on that years later, Jill, every single thing came true. Every single thing. And I had a long one. So Mind Movies is just a way, it's almost like a virtual visual board where you can write, you can create the things. When you use more of your senses, it becomes more believable. Because we have our brains, and when you first have a thought, it goes into this frontal lobe part of your brain. And then when we start to repeat it to ourselves, and especially when we can create an emotion that goes with that, it goes into our limbic brain. And then with a lot of repetition, it actually goes into the cerebellum. And by the time it gets there, it's a new habit. It's a new way of being. So I have one of my favorite quotes that's actually sitting behind my computer here on my wall is from the book, The Four Agreements. And the part in the Four Agreements that changed my life is not to ever make assumptions.
Wow.
And assumptions about things, about yourself, about how people think and talk about you is the one thing that you can really do to stop making assumptions. Ask questions. Don't assume. Nobody's going to judge you for asking questions. And if they do, here's my other favorite in the Four Agreements is don't take anything personally. This is a big thing. Because how people act, how they talk, how they react to you, has nothing to do with you. It's a reflection of their own reality. It has nothing to do with you. And if you can detach yourself from how they act and not feel bad, not allowing that, you will live in a tremendous freedom. It's one of the most beautiful gifts you can give yourself. And then I have a long list of recommendations of books that has meant a lot to me. And that is kind of a segue into the last thing that I now do every single day, which is meditation. And some of the books that have changed my life is the book by my mentor, Marissa Peer, Tell Yourself a Better Lie. And then Dr. Joe Dispenza. Anything Joe Dispenza. I love Dr. Joe Dispenza. I went to two of his live retreats. It's life-changing. If you want to be motivated, search
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube Dr. Joe Dispenza stories of transformation. Your mind will be blown. That is something that I still use today when I feel I need a little bit of a injection of hope and positivity. I watch things like that because when you see how people's lives have changed just from meditation,
Yep.
it gives you hope. So the books that I love is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And what I love even more is You Are the Placebo. And then what I love even more is Becoming Super. Absolutely amazing books. And then I'm so privileged that I had the opportunity to experience that in real life. And I can apply that every day in my life. So I don't miss a day of meditation.
Oh.
And meditation is just that ability to get out of that place of fear and lack and
Mm-hmm.
hopelessness and negativity and clear your mind and fill it with hope and positivity and just excitement for life and to fall in love with life, to be in awe of what life can be. We focus so much on what life is not. I promise you, there is so much to life than we think there is. And if you are just willing to quiet yourself down, to quiet your
And
mind, and to find the rest, it is just life changing. So, meditation, that's been a mouthful.
and people say, well, how do I meditate? Do I have time to meditate? People don't know what meditation really means. I used to think it meant like I need like a full hour, full, and I'm like, I never had it. And then I learned I could do it in 5 minutes. Could you share
Right.
how that works as well?
Yes, it started with me literally to go and search YouTube videos, and I
Okay.
could find a 5 minute video at some point of a meditation that was just positive affirmations, and I
Okay.
felt a lot of times it just changed the energy. And I think that is one of the things that we should learn to do in life is to change the energy from the negative to the positive. Doesn't matter what we do, if you feel down, if you feel heavy, can you, in that moment, be conscious of it? Notice your thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
notice what contributed to that, and just make that choice to change. And the change starts in our minds. Everything starts in our minds. Everything starts with a thought. Can you change the thought? Can you
Mm-hmm.
change that? So that's how I started, but it expanded from that. Again, Joe Dispenza, he has, if you go on his website, drjoedispenza.com, there are tremendous meditations, and I still do them. I own every single one, and I do them every single day. And there's one that's 20-minute long that is specifically for women. The first time when I listened to the words,
Mm-hmm.
I burst out in tears because it's just so beautiful. And if you can start to feel that, let me think, what is the name of that? It is turning into love, I believe, or
Wow.
turn your love inward. Turn your love inward, and that is so important. And then there are morning meditations, there are evening meditations. They're not that long. There are newer ones that's just half an hour long that I love to do.
Mm.
Tuning into your heart. Yeah, they're like a lot about turning your love, finding your love within. So it's just some of my favorite things to do. So lots of other people have meditations. Some of Dr. Dispenza's meditations can get very long, and I don't recommend that you jump into it. You have to get used to his voice, the way he uses his voice. So let's
Mm.
talk about what meditation is. Meditation is quieting your mind down, similar
Yep.
to hypnosis. So we have our beta brainwaves. We have about 8,000 thoughts per day. That's a lot. And if we can quiet that down, because it's our thoughts that a lot of times get us in trouble. Again, assumptions and taking things personally.
And for those listening out there, if we want to get in touch with Marina, could you share all the forms in the best way?
Yes, the best way is through my website, marinatheronmonnery.com, MarinaTheronMonnery.
Perfect. And also to give us hope, the holidays are here. I gotta say, it is a time of the year when a lot of people are depressed, are feeling overwhelmed, you know, and there's always this tense intensity during the holidays of the stress and the ease. And do you find mostly around this time of year, no matter where you are in the world, people are a little more uneasy and in need of help and need of this meditation and self-improvement?
That's for sure, Jill. I'm so glad you asked that question because there is something that we call seasonal disorder. And it's literally when the closer you get to Christmas, the bluer your mood gets.
Mm-hmm.
And it's difficult. In North America, we don't have where I am in Canada, our days are very short. That affects us.
Yeah.
But then I used to hate the holidays
Mm.
because most of the time I had to let my kids go to their father and I was without them. And I also, if you listen to my story, I really struggled financially when I first got divorced. And I did not really have money for all the luxuries that my kids wanted. And I felt really embarrassed when people gave me things. And but there's almost a gift in learning to receive as well. And over the years, I had to change my attitude as well. Now, what I do now is beside the meditation is sometimes it's just to choose to enjoy some of the gifts of the season. And I know it's very commercialized right now, but is there something you can find? Even spend a night watching stories of transformation for Joe Dispenza's work on YouTube. That is such a gift that will change you. Find testimonials of miracles that happen. There are so many things that shows up on my YouTube feed now because that's the kind of things that I spend hours watching. I don't download a book, an audiobook. Go for a walk, listen to the audiobook. Lift your spirits. Gratitudes alone, they never last. The holidays never last. And if you can just give yourself time and give yourself the grace to change today, tomorrow is going to look better. What if you decide, okay, you know what? I'm going to put lights in my window this year. Just one little thing. I'm just going to do that because it's pretty. If you decide, you know what? Why don't I find people that I haven't connected with in years and reach out to them? And this is one thing I used to do. When I was alone and on the evenings that I didn't have my kids, I would find people who were alone and I would invite them over. A lot of times for potluck because I could not afford to feed everybody. And I would tell them, bring something to eat. Let's have Christmas together. Don't be alone because I didn't want to be alone. And that changed my life. I was never alone on Christmas. I always had somebody with me and people who were in the same situation as me. And together we could lift each other up. So that tradition still continued. And my husband started to tease me about it because I always feel there's room for more. If I hear of people who are alone, I open my house to them. I don't like that because I've been there. So
Mm-hmm.
just changing that energy, just make that choice, take the plunge. Okay, I'm not going to be alone yet this year. I'm not going to surrender to the gloominess of the season. I'm going to embrace the spirit of the season. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
create something magical. You never know what hope you give somebody if you give them a place to go over the holidays.
Oh, I love that concept of opening up your house and that is so amazing. Could I
I
ask just,
also like to be busy. Excuse me, Jill.
oh no, no, what happens this year? What are you doing for the holidays?
Well, I have four children, and two of them do not live in Calgary. One of them are coming home for the holidays, but we tease if you've seen the movie The Four Christmases.
Oh,
He
I
says
love
to
that.
me,
Yes.
he says to me, Mom, we have the four Christmases because he has me and his dad, and then he has his mother-in-law and his father-in-law, and it's four different families. So they always have to decide who are they spending what with. So I will still have my other two sons, my daughter-in-law and my grandson, and we will do something. But I keep busy. And one thing that I really do, and this is really one of my biggest gifts, I own a company that does Christmas music and we do Christmas caroling. And our first gig is actually this Saturday at a very big Christmas market. And we have a lot of gigs. So I can go around literally and sing carols to the entire city just about every single day from now on until Christmas. And that's very special. So you may not be a singer, but can you go find carolers? Can you start a little caroling group in your neighborhood, in your
Wow.
apartment building? Can you do that? That's, I think, such a lost art. So that keeps me very busy. So I like to be busy. Busyness has been a saving
Now,
grace in my
does
life.
does anyone else in the family have your gift of voice, your talent, and your kids, or?
It's kind of sad. They do, but they don't want to use it. And when I hear my son sing to his son, it's like, why did you never try to sing? I think I overwhelmed him a little bit. I come from a quite a musical family as well. So my mom was a music teacher. My dad had a beautiful,
Hmm. So they
and
do.
yeah,
So maybe we pass down to the grandson too.
maybe it will. He loves it when I sing. I was practicing some carols the other day when he was over, and he was lighting up. So hopefully.
Oh, wow. And then so you start these, do you also on the holidays actually go door to door to people's homes to do this?
No, we don't do that.
But
So
you're,
we were all old, or some of them still are. We met each other in singing opera, and so I was invited into the group in 2010, and I cannot even imagine not doing Christmas carols every year.
mm,
It's never been a door to door thing.
yeah.
It's this is a professional group, so we go out and we do it professionally. So
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, it gets you right in the holiday season
yes,
and lifts the spirits and hearts of someone, which is always something good to bring up, for it's good to lift others up. Even the simple gesture I try to tell my kids this of holding the door for someone at the supermarket, when you walk in the store, a smile. You don't know what
exactly,
someone's going
exactly.
through, you know?
I think that's so important. And Jill, I think the underlying thing is if you feel gloomy, go find the light, find what gives you hope, create it. We
Yeah.
all have that ability. We can make the choice to put the fullness of pleasure in everything we do. And it doesn't matter how dark the day looks for you. Go look inside yourself, find the hope. Take that one thing that today will make your day, even if it's standing on the street corner and smiling
Yeah.
and waving at everybody. Do something. And that is the thing. Taking action sometimes is one of the hardest things we have to do. We can have, and coming up is also New Year's resolution. So most of the people I know want to lose weight and go to the gym. That's great, but you cannot just think it, you have to take the action. So everything starts first with a thought and then an action. And it can be something as simple as baking cookies and give it to your neighbor for Christmas, or invite somebody who's going to be alone into your house for Christmas. Just make that one extra seed in your house this Christmas and see what a change it makes.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you. We just have 3 minutes left in the show, Marina. It always goes so quick. So, what other tips did you want to leave for us today?
Well, I love to use my own story as my example because I changed my own label. I changed myself from being the victim to being somebody that really brings hope today. I love it. I love to bring hope. And everybody can do that. And if you just look inside yourself and find that little piece of hope, find that within yourself, create connection with people. Connection is one of the things that I think, or the lack of connection, that contributes to a lot of depression and what we've been through over the last 3 years in the world
Hmm.
did not help. So create connection, contact your aunt that you haven't spoken to in many years. See how surprised she is to hear from you,
Yeah.
or an old friend, and gratitude, be grateful. So, all this entire list that I gave you today, just use that. Use one of those things today, whether it is read the four agreements, or binge watch Joe Dispenza testimonials, or watch a comedy, or write gratitude. Do just one thing. See how it changes the energy. And if you completely get stuck, always remember that services like rapid transformational therapy can really get behind the root of that. If you can just not snap out of it when you do all these positive
Mm.
things, then we go look deeper. We go see what is behind it. And
Uh,
that's when you can contact me at
Perfect.
marina@monnery.com.
Beautiful. And have you spelled that for us?
MarinaTheronMonnery.
All
So
right.
I can tell the story if you know the actress Charlize Theron. That's
Yes.
the same last name, same spelling.
Oh,
That's my
yeah.
maiden name. And then my husband's name is Monnery. And he always says it's like Sean Connery, but with an M.
Got it.
So.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us and looking
Thank you,
forward to
Jill.
the next time we get to connect, okay?
Sounds
Thank
great.
you. Pleasure. Have a great day and even
You
better
as well.
weekend, and keep singing, make people happy,
We'll
and
do that.
we'll
Thank you.
take the time to smile. Thank you.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.